Still roll? We're here. We've arrived. We've made it. We survived. Welcome to 2022. 2021 was one of those years where we saw COVID in 2020. Everybody kind of scrambled to figure out what was going to work, but 2021 really presented itself in a way to where we saw that there was no going back to quote unquote normal. For some of you guys, your marketing plans kind of look like this. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to look at, it used to work, it's kind of cute, it's like, oh wow, yeah, I used to do that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't stand a chance against what's out there now. If you're thinking about your competitors, if you're looking at what they're doing, and you're wondering like, how do I survive in this modern day climate? And these people, your competitors, whether they have it or not, you want to be here. You want that new, you want that fire. You want the strategy that's going to get you to the front of the line as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, and as efficiently as possible. What I'm about to give you is the absolute best marketing strategy that you can find online for 2022. I'm going to tell you everything from A to Z, all the strategies that are going to work for you and your brand. And whether you have the absolute best marketing plan in place or whether you don't have one at all, you're going to pull some nuggets from this that will change the trajectory of your business. Again, it doesn't matter what brand you are, what kind of brand you are, or what industry you're in. You will take some nuggets from what I'm about to tell you that will catapult your brand in 2022 and help you take your marketing to that next level. Before we get too deep in this, the first question you really have to ask yourself is like, look at your brand, look at your business. Have you defined who you are? A lot of businesses, a lot of brands, they are really good at the business of the business, right? Selling and doing certain things, pushing a product out, but they have not really defined their brand. And before you go marketing yourself and really pushing something out there, you really have to have who your target audience is, who your target customer is, the look, vibe, and feel of your brand. You really need to have that aligned, because when you start pushing out marketing and you're spending marketing budgets and putting money out there, you want to make sure that all of these things are working together in unison to promote your brand. Because in 2022, people buy from brands. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the product peddlers. People want to buy from people they trust. People want to buy from brands that they can associate with, that are cool, that are dope. You know what I mean? People that, have a story behind them. And a lot of the businesses that we come in contact with or that I talk to personally, they may have been in business for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. We talk to businesses that have been in business for 100 years. These are huge Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies that we work with. And when it comes to transitioning into a real digital marketing strategy that works for 2022, a lot of them realize that they haven't really defined that. You know what I mean? They know how to push a product, but when it comes to touching or attracting or engaging the new clientele, the millennials, the Gen Zs, whatever, you really have to have that in mind. If you want your paid ad strategy to work, you have to know who you're targeting. You got to know your demographics. You got to know who you're going after, or else a lot of these digital strategies that rely on data and things like that will fall flat. So making sure you can identify your customer or your customers and who that is. And it's a lot more than just, oh, it's a 35-year-old man that lives over here. You really have to break down those psychographics, right? Those interests and behaviors, Think about what they read, what kind of music they listen to, where do they look online? Because again, when it comes to paid ads, and I'll talk about this later, I'm not gonna go into it too much right now, but you really need to know these things because that's how you find your customer. You have to meet your customer where they are when you're pushing out your marketing, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. You have to know where they are. You have to know where they're at, where they spend their time online, because that is where you need to put yourself, that is where you need to put your brand, that is where your marketing needs to live so that it finds them where they are. Because people these days, they're not going to necessarily be walking down the street and find you. The internet's a big place. Web 3.0 is going to be an even bigger place. You have to be where your audience is. So number one, make sure you define your brand. Take some time to think about who you are, the look, vibe, and feel of that you want to put out there. And this can come down to brand identities, your logo needing an update, just the voice on your website, the copy you're putting out there, how you talk to people. You got to think about that, because when you're pumping out content or when you're doing your website, again, you want everything cohesive. You want everything to sound like you, look like you, so that when people come across these marketing pieces, they know, they can see that's them, that's them. When you look at a McDonald's ad, you know it's McDonald's. When you look at a Progressive Insurance ad, a Liberty Mutual ad, these brands that just, they have a ring to them, they have a look, vibe, feel, that when you see them, you know what it is. You need to have the same thing for your brand at some level when it comes to designing a strategic marketing strategy for 2022. Number two is your online presence. Do you even exist online? You know, I'm talking about SEO, search engine optimization. I'm talking about on social, on YouTube, your website. And I'm gonna go in depth on all these things, but do you even exist online right now? And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I talked about before. What is your brand look, vibe, feel? What is your brand voice online? Some of you guys still don't have an online presence. You know, you may have taken it for granted over the years, or you thought that the website you built in 2015 is good enough and all those keywords that you typed in and all that is cool and people are just gonna find that way. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I really want you to start thinking about online presence as more than SEO, right? It's the way you look. When people Google you, when people search your name on Facebook, when people search your name or your business's name on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever, what comes up? Whatever comes up, does that represent your brand in the right way? And if nothing comes up, you got a lot of work to do. Because the truth is this, like I said before, you have to meet customers where they are. And when they find you, guess what? They're not just gonna buy it right away. They're gonna dig around and kind of see who you are, what your brand represents, who your business has worked with, and all these things. And that is why manicuring your online presence is so important these days. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've all bought something. Say you're gonna go and work with an online coach, right? And you went to their sales funnel and you saw their VSL video sales letter and you were ready to buy, but you're like, you know what? Let me open up another tab and let me Google around a little bit. And then you might have saw a review video. It's like, okay. And that pushed you a little closer to making a buying decision. And then you went and checked out their Amazon reviews on their book that they had written, and they had a bunch of great reviews. You know, so that pushed you down the funnel even further. You know what I mean? Or it could have went the other way. You were about to buy and you saw something that somebody said that this was a terrible product. And then you saw another review. So that's how it works. You have to think about that. You have to make sure that your presence online is super tight, because people are going to dig around and people are going to look prior to making a buying decision, prior to hitting that add to cart, check out now, prior to booking a call with you, prior to reaching out with your sales team, prior to picking up the phone and calling and making that order. When it comes to SEO, you can't just pack your websites with keywords. You have to have other elements that push your website to the top of Google. When it comes to video production in Chicago, INDIRAP is number one. The reason we are number one is because we are consistently putting out content. We are consistently adding to our blog. We are consistently adding up to our updating our website and making sure that it's up to standards for what the best websites in the world look like, feel like, sound like, all that kind of thing. We're consistently adding to YouTube. We're consistently adding to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things. And after a while, all those things accumulate and add to your presence online. So like I said, make sure that your online presence is nice, tight, and clean and manicured, because all of the other things that I'm going to talk about, if it's not, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If you're pushing people to a website or to your online presence that is trash, guess what? It's like throwing money out the window. It's like lighting money on fire. Number three, let's talk about your website and your landing pages. For a lot of people, this will be the first place they land. You know, if they're Googling something, a lot of people, you know, their funnel might take the customer to your website or to your landing pages. A lot of websites out there, the majority of them don't do a really good job of driving the buying decision forward for the brands that they are supposed to be representing. I see a lot of websites out there that are chock full of just words, or a bunch of about who you are and the school you went to and all that kind of thing for some businesses. For others, it's just way too simple. It's got like iconography from like old, 2008, 2009. You want to make sure that when people come to your website, as soon as they get there, it explains exactly what you do and the value that you can provide to them as a customer. And that can come in the form of a strong headline, a great video, or some other form of content that kind of shows people what you do. I see a lot of websites where you go there and it's just a text blurb and it says something and that's it. Think about how engaging that would be for most businesses. You want to think about the customer experience from the time they land on a website, and as they go down the website, you want to be, again, driving the buying decision forward. You want to be telling your story. You want to be showing the customer how you can add value with your product or service. So when you look at your website, ask yourself, is this telling me what I do as a product or service? Does it explain to me what the benefits are, what the features of this product are? Are there client testimonials and social proof that show people these are the people I've worked with, these are some success stories, and this is why you should work with us? And another thing is like call to action sections. I see a lot of people that have these great websites, but it's like, why aren't you asking for the sale? Or why aren't you asking for the next step to book a call or to reach out for more information? Like, you have to have those buy now or book nows or sign ups. Every third of the way down your website or your landing page. People aren't supposed to just come to a website and just kind of look around and be like, okay, what do I do next? If you look at your website and there's not really a clear-cut idea of like, what the hell do I do now? You've showed me this great product. You've showed me all these things that it can do for me as a customer or another business, but I don't know what to do. I see people that feel like a large call to action button is kind of like distasteful, or it's tacky to ask for the sale. No, it's not. It's getting to the point. If you spent money on an ad or you posted something to social to drive people to your website, they want to come there and they want to see that offer and take them directly to the next steps within your sales funnel. It's extremely important. So when it comes to your main website or the various funnels that you use throughout your marketing strategy or your ad strategy online, you just want to make sure that they are speaking to the exact customer that are coming to these pages. One, that two, the customer experience when they get there is seamless and it's fun and engaging. You know what I mean? You have to have the video, you have to have the photography, you have to have great copy, you have to have pops of color, and you have to make sure that it's clean, simple, and to the point. Simple, engaging, and to the point, or as I like to say, keep it simple and stupid when it comes to website. That always wins. That always gets people to the next step in your sales funnel and helps you drive the buying decision forward. Whether you're shopping for something online, whether you're looking for a new car, whether you're looking for something on Amazon, whether you're looking to buy furniture, video has been integrated into every level of the e-commerce experience online. It doesn't matter if you're in a supply chain business, doesn't matter if you're selling restaurant goods. At some level, video can elevate the customer experience regardless of what brand or industry you're in, period. It's increased brand awareness. What other better way to build trust with your audience? What better way to engage your audience? What better way to connect eye to eye with your audience and really see and feel who they are? What your brand voice is, to put it out there. There's no better way, and there's no quicker way, right? A magazine ad ain't gonna do it. A bus bench ad ain't gonna do it. Billboard ain't gonna do it. In 2022, you should really be thinking about how to integrate video into every level of your organization. The amazing thing about video when it comes to marketing and ad spends and budgets and ROIs is this. You can create one amazing video, right? Let's just use a brand overview, for example. Brand overview that tells your customer who you are, what you do, the value add, your story, all that good stuff, shows off your brand culture. You can take that one video, cut a full length, cut a 60-second, cut a 30-second, maybe cut a 15-second for an ad, repurpose it for social, and then take those videos and sprinkle it across your sales, marketing, training, operations, your whole organization, and reuse and recycle and put it on your sales funnels and put it over here on your email blast for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that with other forms of marketing. You know, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You know, you can take a brand overview video or customer case studies and testimonials. Give those assets to your sales team to help push the buying decision forward and close more deals faster, smarter, and with less effort. Or you can go and create a frequently asked questions series and put these questions on your sales pages when your sales team is coming and saying, hey, we have customers asking these same 3 or 4 questions every time on every call, on every demo we do for them. What can we do to kind of jump past that? And by the time the customer gets to you, they already have those answers and they're ready to buy. Frequently asked questions. You know, this is stuff that can be used across your entire organization. Product videos, you know, show why this product works, how it works, the reason it works, you know. When people are Googling you and looking for a product or service provider in your industry, they're gonna be attracted way more to someone that has a video that comes up and shows up in those Google search rankings versus like all the keyword campaigns and all that kind of stuff. A video is gonna stand out more. So they're gonna click that video, and in 60, 90, 120 seconds, you can tell them exactly what you do. You can showcase your team, you can showcase your brand culture, and that's why I say video is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the absolute best form of marketing, next to word of mouth, that there is. But why it's better than word of mouth? Because you can take one video and blast it out anywhere in the world just like that. You can blast it to 1,000 customers, you can blast it to 1,000,000 customers. You can remix it, repurpose it. You invest in good video, and this is extremely important. I'm not talking about going and getting Lil Jimmy, you know, your little brother's, cousins, whatever, that has a camera and going and shooting something for your entire brand. While that may work for some people, 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna work, and it's not going to have the lifespan that professionally produced content that is created around the goals and initiatives of your marketing team, around the needs of your sales team, around your operations, around your talent acquisition goals and initiatives. When you invest in good video, when you invest in, and that's more than just running around with the camera, having the audio tight, having great lighting, showcasing your brand and your products and your service in the absolute best light possible, it's the absolute best marketing investment that you can make as a brand. And if you don't have any video, I highly recommend that is the first thing you spend your marketing budget on in 2022. You have to put your best face out there, because if you don't, your competition will, and customers are attracted to engaging, entertaining video. You know, not just boring stuff. You have to engage, educate, and entertain. It's extremely important. And making sure that your brand has these assets, has a content library built out that can help you grow, it's a must-have for 2022. If you don't have it, you can play yourself again. Don't play yourself. Get video. I'm gonna make this quick. It's super overlooked. A lot of people go straight for the video, but your brand photography is extremely important. There's a lot of businesses out there that use stock images, and I can't stand when I see stock images used throughout the entire website. It builds absolutely no trust. You look like everybody else out there. Every Joe Schmo can go to Shutterstock and use like stock images. But the thing about it is that human beings or customers or consumers, we're so inundated with images and video that people know that stock is stock now. It's like, we know that's not you. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice by having stock images across your entire website or brand presence. I even see people go as far to like use stock photography as their social. It's like, you're crazy. You're putting out a bad, it's just a bad look. It's a no-no. So integrating brand photography is extremely important in building brand equity with your site visitors or with people that, you know, is looking at your social. And that could be, you know, lifestyle candid of your team or in your office or people using your product. It could be your headshots. I see some brands, a lot of, especially in the service business, you go to their About Us and they don't even have pictures of the team. Who's the leadership? Who's the president of the company? Who am I working with? You know, they have like, you know, a blurb, a 2-paragraph blurb about their heart and like a sunset stock photo. It's like, for what? If somebody's coming to see who you are, they're going to you About Us, but they want to see you. They want to see you, give them something to look at. Give them something to look forward to. Sprinkle that stuff throughout the rest of your site. People love brand culture. If you're looking to build a brand photography, building trust and transparency is extremely important, and it's something that you do not want to overlook in 2022. Your social presence. Some of you still avoiding social media. You think that you're not cool enough, or you don't know how to dance, or you don't want to look stupid and all that kind of thing. Well, guess what? You don't have to. You can be your genuine self. But just know you will be judged. Just how I said earlier, your customers, they are going to look around for you. They want to see who you are, what you do, who your audience is, and all these things. You have to take it serious. It's almost to the point now to where if you don't exist on social media, it's kind of like I don't know if I want to work with them kind of a deal. You know what I mean? Because again, put yourself in your customer's shoes. If you're looking for a product or service and you go over here and you see like this person hasn't posted in 3 years or 3 months, versus this person is posting valuable content every day for free. This is putting out free value add content and showcasing their products or services, and it looks cool and it's awesome. Who are you going to be attracted to? Again, I just said it, like engage and entertain. That's part of the customer experience. That's part of the sales process now. People want that when they're buying. They want to be excited about the brand. They want to know that what the brand is about. They want to buy into your brand. And the social media and creating a world, a universe around your brand and your brand culture and products and service and brand beliefs and the team and executives and things like that. It's super important. And it's a very easy way to interact with your customer base, your clients, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, right? And I'm talking TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. And I'm not saying you have to dive into all of these right away. And actually, for some of you all, some might not work. You might be able to run ads on LinkedIn or target your social strategy to LinkedIn a little bit more than you do to a Facebook or an Instagram, because that's where your audience lives. Again, go back to step one. Who is your target demographic? Who is your audience, and where do they live? When it comes to social platforms, that is where you need to be building out your social strategy. That is where you need to be putting out your content. That is where you need to be speaking to your audience, adding value for free, not being salesy, not being a product pusher, not being a service pusher, but interacting with your audience, establishing yourself as an expert. Podcasts are big right now. Putting out content that showcases you in the best light, talking to someone or talking about your product or service as an expert, knowing what you're talking about, that's going to drive people to want to work with you. That's going to drive people to reach out with you and say, hey, Miss Real Estate Agent, I really like what you were saying. That thing you were just talking about, well, I'm actually looking to sell my house over here for $10 million. I think I want to work with this person. Versus the same person that may be a better agent. They might have been doing it for 10 or 15 or 20 years, but guess what? Their sales are probably dipping, or they're starting to dip because they don't market. They don't have a social presence, and new buyers are looking to engage with the people that find them online. People that are putting out the content that's going to attract them, that's showcasing what they do and how they do it and their process and all those kinds of things. And this is where you take advantage of these social platforms that are free. That's the thing, it's free. You don't have to pay to get on these. They're free. All you have to do is put out valuable content, attract new customers, and guess what? That leads to more leads, more sales, and more revenue for your business. If you really want to get your brand awareness up, if you really want to get in front of your audience, and if you really want to hit that target demographic that we talked about earlier, your core customers, your core clientele, paid ads are the way to go, right? You got to pay to play these days, right? You can post organically all you want, and that's great, but if you don't have an audience, if you don't have hyper engagement on your content, a real good way to go directly to the front door of your customers is with paid ads. The beauty about paid ads is that you can target specific demographics. You can target their behaviors. You can target their interests. And you can basically go and meet your customer at the front door with them, right? You need great creative, right? And you need great copy and great headlines. You need to make sure that these things are in line with what your customers are looking for, because yeah, you can pay to play, right? You can go and take your ad spend and go spend it over here on LinkedIn and get in front of your B2B customers that way. You can take it over here on TikTok and get in front of your Gen Z customers and sell that product that way. But there's a lot of ads out there, and your competition's running them. The good thing about it is that most people don't know how to run ads really well. They know that they need ads, but they do it wrong, right? And a good way to win, again, is you gotta have a great offer, you gotta have good creative, and you gotta have great copy and a great headline, and you will do well for your business. You're not relying upon customers to necessarily come across you online and find you. You're going to them. And paid ads are great. I also wanna mention Google keywords. When it comes to the pay to play economy, that's really a lot of people's first foray into pay to play is Google keywords and getting your business to come up and first on Google and all that, you know, the sponsored ads and all that kind of stuff. That's great, and it works. It works for us. Depending upon what kind of industry you're in, like if you're a doctor that specializes in the keto diet, your cost per click is gonna be through the roof. So these other avenues are going to be a lot more fruitful and cheaper and more cost effective sometimes. Like I know for us, like YouTube pre-roll has been amazing. Cool thing about YouTube pre-roll is that, again, I'll talk about Google keywords. Anybody can run a keyword campaign, right? You put your keywords in, this is what I want to optimize for, and do that. That's what most businesses do to get their foot in the door. But it's expensive because that's what everybody does. But everybody doesn't have video ads that they can run on YouTube pre-roll, right? Either because they're scared to go on video, or their videos are just trash, or they just don't know how to optimize a video on YouTube pre-roll. And guess what? While you have everybody and their mother over here running Google keyword campaigns, the group of business owners and businesses and brands that are running YouTube pre-roll is about this big, because they don't know what they're doing, which is what? A huge white space for you to go and put great creative together, shoot great video, and run YouTube pre-roll. Your cost per view is gonna be cheaper, your cost per click is gonna be cheaper, all of those things. So with all of that being said, you have to know your numbers. You gotta know where your audience lives first, right? Then go and see what your average cost per click is gonna be, your average cost per view. You know what I mean? How much you need to, your suggested ad spend. You can come talk to our team here at INDIRAP, we can tell you this, but a lot of this information is online. But with all of that being said, you should really be running paid ads, because if you're not, you're missing out on an easy win for yourself to get right in front of your customers, right? You gotta get out there and compete, because again, what is your competition doing? If you're curious to know what your competition is doing, you know, I'm gonna give you a little secret. This is what you can do. Go to their Facebook page, right? The business page. Scroll down a little bit on the left side. Click page transparency. Facebook put a rule in place where every business advertising has to put all of their ads under this tab. So you can literally go in there, click it, and see exactly what ads people are running, see what's working, and you can use that as data to make your ads better, to make your creative better, to make, you know, whether that be static images or video or whatever it is, you can do it. If you don't have any idea of where to start, go and use that as a starting point. Go take that as a starting point and go make yours better and run those ads, because it's an easy win to get in front of your customers, meet them where they are, grow your sales, grow your revenue, and kill it in 2022. When it comes to sales, any good salesperson knows that the money is in the follow-up. It's not on the first exposure to a brand. So making sure you have a strong email list, you know, whether that's from your sales funnels, clients or customers that are cold, that have, you know, put their email in, you gave them something for free or of a value. You have to have these cadences or these email blasts that you're sending out to stay in front of them. For every client that comes to you that has zero exposure to you and they have just found your brand, only 3% of them on average are ready to buy then and there. Right? So what about the other 97%? You have to continue to communicate them, and most importantly, add value through these email cadences, these pre-written email cadences that follow up automatically, you know, for 3 months or 6 months or however long these cadences are written for. Or for a lot of you, it's these weekly or monthly email blasts that let people know what you're doing, what new offers you have out there, promoting some new. For us, we promote, you know, new featured client content. We also promote our book, a client strategy call, those kinds of things. And we realized that in sending out these email blasts, there's customers that we might not have spoken to in 6 months, and they might not have interacted with a social post or anything, but they'll pop up out of nowhere 6, 7 months down the line like, man, I love all the content you guys are putting out. We got a project now, we're ready to go, right? If we had not continued to push out email content, they might not have thought of us. We might not have been top of mind when they were ready to buy. And outside of following up and staying in front of people, email is really the only marketing outlet that you have to where you are in total control of that list that you have. So with your sales funnels, when you're collecting emails or people coming through your buy nows or get started forms, continuing to build that email list, you don't want just an email list sitting there collecting dust, right? Because again, you got this big email list. How many of those people have actually bought from you? Right? But at some point they considered buying from you. You just need to continue to follow up and stay in front of them and stay top of mind so that when they are ready to buy your product or service, they call you and not the person that just happened to give them that first exposure when they were ready to buy. It's like, oh yeah, let's work with these guys. If you'd have kept following up, they would have been like, no, I remember these people said that they could do this for me. I want to work with them. So email is extremely important. You can also automate this, which takes a lot of legwork just out of following up with every single customer. Once somebody enters your sales funnel, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-step email drip pre-made that offers value over time. The videos that you're creating on a monthly basis can be redistributed and recycled and sprinkled within these emails. Your client testimonials can be put in these emails. Your facts and figures and cool infographics can be sprinkled within these emails. Just free information, free value add to where you are not necessarily being salesy every email, because that's not what you want to do. You just want to offer value and stay in front of people and stay top of mind. I know I just dropped a lot of jewels and gems on you, but the most important thing that I want to say about all of this is this. Consistency will be the #1 determining factor on whether any of this works. It's the biggest mistake that I see businesses make when they start a new marketing strategy. If you are thinking about doing all this and you're going to try it out for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then use that as a determining factor of whether to continue for the rest of the year, again, you're gonna play yourself. Marketing is an ongoing experiment. It never always works. Especially now as the world's changing fast and digital ways of advertising change overnight, algorithms change overnight, ways to interact with customers are changing, the metaverse is on the way. You will always have to be pivoting, you always have to be testing, and you always have to be speaking to your customers, because when you speak to your customers and when you stay in front of them, they tell you, the data they give you, their open rates, their click-through rates, their conversion rates, they tell you exactly what you need to do to market better. The views you get on your videos, the number of appointments set. This data tells you, so if you're not marketing, you're not getting any of this data back, you're not actually able to tweak your marketing strategy to become better and better and better month after month, year after year. So paid ads, videos, photos, your website, that's all in good. But if you're gonna just post something one time, if you're not gonna recycle your content, if you're not gonna stay in communication with your customers that are coming in through that amazing sales funnel, you're leaving a lot of bread on the table. So you have to commit, you have to be dedicated. I dedicate myself weekly, monthly. Our team posts every day. We eat what we cook here. We're always updating our website. We're always putting out new content. We're always putting out social content. We're always emailing our client base. And I'll tell you this, it works. You know what I mean? It's the reason we're here. A marketing strategy is the same as committing to being a more fit, more healthy person. How many people do you know that said they're gonna get healthy, go to the gym, and after 3 months they never went back, and then they say, oh, I hate the gym. And then they do it again the next year. The effect of compound interest works the same way with marketing. You invest this month, and then you invest the next month, and then you invest the next month, and you invest a little bit more the next month. After a while, after a year or 2 years of really putting your all into a rock solid marketing strategy, especially on YouTube, especially with social, especially in terms of staying in front of your customer base. People, after a while, you realize how easy it is to get people into the top of your funnel and reach out to you directly to do business with you because you have become the person they think about. Your business is at the top of their mind because you stay in front of them better than anyone else. And you don't just stay in front of them, you engage with them, you add value, you entertain with them, and you educate them on the things that they are looking to buy or to purchase. That is who people want to do business with. And if you make that a central focus of your marketing strategy, you can't lose. All right? I hope that you can take some nuggets from here, some of the gems and some of the jewels, some of the secrets that you have just heard, and apply them to your business. I guarantee you that it will change the trajectory of your business. If you put these things in place, if you execute, and then most importantly, if you stay consistent, you go to 0 to 100 real quick. No joke. How do I know? Because I just did it again. And we're gonna do it again. And we're gonna do it again. We did it in 2020, we're gonna do it in 2021, we're gonna do it in 2022. Let's go, man. There's nothing to it but to do it. I wish you the best in 2022. If you like what you saw, click the like button, comment. I wanna hear what you gotta say. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you love what we're talking about or if you think I don't know what I'm talking about. I want to get to know you. To a prosperous 2022. Let's get it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.